You are the third smartest person I know.
If you're hearing our voices, it means it's time for It's This Meets That, the podcast where we watch the worst movies from trailer to end credits, scene by scene, so you don't have to, but maybe you should. I'm Russ.
I'm Jared.
I'm the third smartest person you know?
Well, are the quotes about you now? All of a sudden?
Yeah, well, I feel like they are.
Huh, interesting. Well,
Yeah. There's a pattern going here, and I don't like it.
Top three is pretty good.
Yeah, you don't know many people, though.
Yeah, exactly. I know you and Thais and
The cat.
my sister. Yeah, the cat. The cat counts. So that's that. Yeah, that's why you're third.
Oh, man. Okay. So we're here to talk about Transcendence.
That's right. I'm glad you sound excited about it, at least.
Yeah, no, I'm not. So yeah, we did the trailer trash last episode, and this is the full breakdown. 2014 movie.
Great year for Johnny Depp.
I guess so.
I'm assuming.
Isn't every year a great year?
Well, the last one probably not so much.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp stinks. Anyway.
Yeah. Like this movie. Do you want to give a recap us about what this madness is all about?
Yeah, sounds good. So the premise here, a scientist's drive for artificial intelligence takes on dangerous implications when his own consciousness is uploaded into one such program, which I still hate.
Yep.
Not better on a second read.
Nope. Not one bit. We did not land on the prognostications.
We didn't?
I don't think we
I'm
did.
shocked.
Yeah. Again, I think we prognosticated something better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know. This movie I found it pretty boring.
I found myself almost enjoying it for like the first half. So
Yeah.
almost, not quite.
Almost. Yeah, there's just things that happened, and it's just like there's no continuity. It didn't feel gelled together. It's just kind of
Yeah, and a lot of the effects were like weirdly good in some spots, and then like weirdly terrible in other spots. And I was like, why is this like this?
Yeah, I definitely found myself like later in the movie. I was like, just why?
Yeah.
How? What?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why is this happening? So kind of a bit of a mess, but yeah,
That's what we signed up for.
that's what we did. So, all right, quick info. This is directed by Wally Pfister.
Yeah, let's go Fister. You looked it up, I thought, last time.
I did. He's known for being a cinematographer for Mr. Christopher Nolan, who executive produced this movie.
Oh, Christopher Nolan executive produced it? Interesting.
Yes, he was actually eyeing that's fast facts. I don't want to jump ahead, but
Okay. It's got some Nolan-esque elements at times.
Yeah, and the ending too.
Yeah, and the ending too. Good point.
Gross. This was written by Jack Paglin.
Okay.
He's got 3 things under his belt, according to IMDb. This was his first movie. He wrote an episode for some TV show, and then apparently was a writer for Alien Covenant.
What?
Yeah,
I'm baffled.
What?
Huh.
Who do
Wait,
you?
only one episode?
Yeah, he did one episode of Roadside Picnic
Is that even a show?
TV series or something. I don't know. So yeah, he did Transcendence, and then Story by he did Alien Covenant.
Fascinating. All right, well.
And that's it. So
What do you think his real job is?
I don't know.
I feel like we should prognosticate about that. Like anytime we see a writer come in and they've got like one credit, you're like, what do you think they've been doing for the last 20, 30 years?
I can't imagine just the Transcendence paycheck is
Right?
paying it off. So
And you'd think if it was movie related, he'd have other credits on his IMDb. Like, you know, even if it's like as like a, I don't know, like Mike guy.
Jack, if you're listening, reach out to us. Let us know what you're up to.
What have you been doing?
What have you been doing?
I'm glad it's not this anymore.
Whatever you've chosen now is the right path. So who's in this? So we got Johnny Depp plays Will Castor.
Mm-hmm.
Rebecca Hall plays Evelyn Castor, his wife. Paul Bettany plays the friend Max.
Yep.
Morgan Freeman plays Joseph Tagger. I didn't even know that was his name in the movie.
I did.
I don't remember even hearing that.
They said Joseph a few times, but I thought Joseph was one of the dead guys originally.
Cillian Murphy as FBI agent Buchanan.
Okay.
Kate Mara as Bree, leader of the Rift.
Yeah.
Leader of the Rift. Clifton Collins Jr. plays Martin.
Yeah.
And Seth Atkins plays a miserable student.
Okay.
So
great.
That's pretty much all you need.
I hope he was like the one that's like face exploded first.
I think so. I don't remember.
I'm assuming.
Man, this movie box office made about $103 million.
Which is like over 27,000 fanatics somehow.
That's crazy. I can't wait to tell you how much this movie cost. So made 103 million. Actually, I wouldn't say it made. 20 million domestic, 80 international. Home video, another 7.8 million. On a budget,
yeah,
I saw a couple different numbers, but the one that stood out, $100 million. How is
why?
Yeah, like
I mean, 10 million for Johnny Depp, 10 million for Morgan Freeman.
Oh yeah, right.
Okay, I can see how this adds up quickly, I guess.
Yeah, just like what? 100 million? Get out of here with that.
Paul Bettany was like deep Avengers at this. No, yeah,
2014.
Yeah, I guess not.
Not quite yet.
So then, yeah, I don't know. Baffling.
100 million. What'd you do?
Where'd they throw it away? Yeah.
Shot in the desert. What'd you do? In Rotten Tomatoes, it's at 19%, 37% audience score. So
I guess they did have a lot of like military vehicles and things like that. Vehicles are expensive.
I can't imagine.
No. I'm just trying to. I don't know why I'm trying to justify it.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm sorry.
Setting up all those the solar field, that was cost of money. All right. Yes, that's quick info.
Great.
Do you want
Hollywood?
You want to Hollywood pitch me, motherfucker?
Yeah, I guess if I have to. No, I want to.
Yes, of course you do.
So this movie's obviously Avengers, not the one you think.
Not the one you think.
Infinity War meets What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Now, it's obviously Avengers Infinity War because Will is kind of a Thanos character, in my opinion.
Yeah.
In that he's like decidedly the villain for the majority of the movie.
Yeah.
And he was right. He was right all along. Just like Thanos.
just accept technology as your overlord. Yeah.
Well, no, it was more about like, fixing the environment and like.
Yeah, that was such a weird little like theme they kind of threw in towards the end. It was like, oh, is this whole thing just about the environment?
He's a hero. Yeah. At the end, they were like, oh shit, we should have let him finish.
Where did this come from? Why? I mean, I guess it was kind of alluded to early on, but
yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, sorry.
I love it. No, it's okay. I mean, good questions. They both have our friend Bettany here, right?
Yep.
Vision, arguably the most important character besides Thanos in Infinity War, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
And his character name in this movie is Max. His love interest is Wanda Maximoff.
Wow. This is where we're at. This is where we've succumbed to. Okay.
This is how Hollywood pitches go now. And I guess that's probably it for Infinity War. But basically, the villain was correct.
Yeah. Yep.
We shouldn't have this many people.
The truth comes out from Jared. We really shouldn't have this many people.
Just kill half of every living thing, I guess, is probably the right answer. So meets What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Again, a lot of obvious parallels here, right? Both starring Johnny Depp.
Keep going.
No. Yeah, I'm getting to it. His character in What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Go on.
Tries to take care of his intellectually disabled little brother. Now, not intellectually disabled, but everyone around, he like seems like he's the smartest guy in the room, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's part of this. Big chunk of this movie takes place in like small town nowhere, right? Just like What's Eating Gilbert Grape. One could argue that Gilbert's you won't. One could argue that Gilbert's mother's obesity is an allegory for artificial intelligence in this movie.
Okay.
Because
get it back on those rails.
She's the one who is ultimately the cause of a lot of Gilbert's problems, right?
Yeah.
Just like the artificial intelligence is. And spoilies for What's Eating Gilbert Grape, but she's dead at the end. Just like the artificial intelligence started from Pin in our movie here. Well, or is it? And yeah, I guess that's probably it.
There's more.
It's the part of the reason what really made me stick with this one was that it segues perfectly into your second pitch.
It does, actually.
So that's the other reason why
we have a lot of cross connections here.
That's right. Right.
All right.
So
okay.
You're welcome. Not bad, right? I made it kind of.
Yeah. Sure. whatever allows you to sleep at night. Sure.
All right. I've said enough.
I've said enough.
What do you got?
I'm going. It's clearly Lawnmower Man meets Romeo plus Juliet.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Now, but why don't you explain for the listeners who are a little simpler?
So the Lawnmower Man is about, kind of AI in a way, right? And a character getting uploaded into the cyberverse there, right?
Yep. I believe it's called Tronland,
right? Tronland. And his idea is that he wants to transcend into a pure energy, right? And he just wants to he goes from being a dummy to a smart existence of a evolved human being, right?
A smart. Yep.
Smart. He's a smarty smarts right now.
That's right.
So that's that.
Just like this movie.
Cross connection. Lawnmower Man. Simple intelligence. Lead character. Like Gilbert Grape there, right?
Pierce Brosnan?
No. Oh. Job, the guy who's the Lawnmower Man.
Yeah.
He's intellectually simple. Meets Romeo plus Juliet, the Leonardo DiCaprio jam, and Claire Danes one from, what was it, 1996?
Yep, that's right.
Cross connection, Leonardo DiCaprio. we got Leo, right?
Yeah.
And pretty much this one is just because they die at the end. Spoilers. On a bed. And that's it.
Which I would argue, just like Romeo plus Juliet, this is a modern interpretation of Romeo and Juliet, really.
It really is. I mean, when it comes down to it, right? It's just two lovers who kind of...
A lot of guns involved.
A lot of guns, yeah. And I think that's it. I'm keeping it simple, like the Lawnmower Man.
Yeah, great work.
Thanks.
Totally impressed.
Do you want to hear some fast facts about this movie?
Back me, Daddy.
I don't have many. There's a lot of garbage in here, so I weeded it all out. So
Thank you.
The screenplay for this film was actually featured on the 2012 Blacklists, a list of the quote unquote most liked unmade scripts of the year. So
wow. I mean, I could see a way that this works.
Yeah, actually, honestly, it felt like it could have been like a novel.
I think that's why I wanted to enjoy it. Like the first half, I was like, oh, I kind of like the premise here, but it was rushed. Like it would have been better as a book. I agree. Like a very long book.
Yeah. So we were talking about Christopher Nolan earlier. He had eyed the project for some time while finishing up The Dark Knight Rises, which he did in 2012 before taking on Interstellar, which came out in 2014, believing Transcendence was the quote unquote perfect for Wally Pfister's debut as a director. So
it is his fault.
Yes, it is his fault. Okay. A lot of connections to Christopher Nolan because like a lot of the actors and the casting agent have done Christopher Nolan movies. And one of the guys towards the end there who gets nanobotted, he was in The Dark Knight Rises. So
Cool.
This movie actually takes place in 2021.
That sounds right.
How does that make you feel?
Good.
There is a lot of casting stuff in here, but I skipped all of them. But this one, because I thought this was kind of interesting. Ewan McGregor and Tom Hardy turned down the role of Max, which is played by Paul Bettany. Yeah, due to scheduling conflicts.
You know what? That makes sense to me, actually. They're all I could see all three of them doing the same job.
The same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't really see Tom Hardy doing that role, but
you don't think so?
Maybe. I don't know. He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
These are some kind of like goof facts thing here. So in the beginning of the movie, Will Castor is putting up a copper netting to create a zone where there's no wireless signals, aka a Faraday cage. But it would not work as depicted. It needs to be a complete cage of thin copper mesh, not just a web that's hanging from some poles.
Yeah. One of the stupidest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of stupid things.
In my time, I've seen a lot of stupid shit.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're going to get into, so Will Castor is killed by a highly toxic radioactive element, polonium, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what's laced in the bullet when he gets shot.
Yep.
I guess this was actually used to kill, murder Alexander Litvinenko in the True Life.
Litvinenko, yeah.
Litvinenko in 2006.
That's like a Russian dissident 101, like very, very Putin style.
Yeah. Classic, right?
Yeah. Like, oh no, he's like, this guy's trying to just live his life in England. Why don't we just like kill him with some radiation? Because that'll be fun for us.
Get it done, you know?
Yeah.
But so despite its toxicity level, scientists estimate that 1 gram could kill 50 million people. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Evelyn, his wife and friends are allowed to remain with him in like close proximity until his death. I guess like, so skin is actually a barrier to the passage of alpha radiation particles to a nearby person, but later on they go to cremate him and they just pour his ashes into a lake.
Yeah. They just create an environmental nightmare.
Which is like, what are you doing? All of the life in that lake is just dead now.
Yep. And them for breathing it in.
Yeah, for breathing. Yeah, so
yeah, everyone's dead.
Yeah. So there you go. That's it. That's all. Quick fast facts.
Yeah. Great work.
Yeah.
Should we do the movie?
Should we do this thing? Yeah,
yep.
Let's do it.
All right.
All right.
If you want, you can make it faster because I think I still have I probably got 20 pages of notes, I bet.
Wowzer. Yeah, I kept it lean, kept it tight here, but it was also a little goofy. So you open up, you get it's Warner Brothers, you get Alcon Entertainment, right? Pretty legit. Get the title card, Transcendence, get some ominous music playing, right?
Yeah. And
then the opening is like, they do this thing where they show you life afterwards. So they do kind of like we'll send you back and tell you a story how we got to this point. So it opens up, there's like rain, water, drops, which
water droplets are a big
theme, right? Big theme. And then I guess we're in San Francisco, right? And there's like a smashed phone on the ground. Like,
yeah, well,
the world looks like it's in a little bit of disarray, I think is what they're trying to get to, right?
Yeah.
Berkeley, California. That's where they were. Right?
I was gonna say, I was like, then it says Berkeley.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's close enough.
Kind of like a military state thing going on, right? There's like some military around in the streets and whatnot. And
they beat you over the head with technology not working because like some guy uses a keyboard to like prop open a door.
Yeah. It's just like,
okay.
All right.
Fine. He's doing his whole monologue, right?
Yep. Talking about how they say there's power in Boston and Denver or something. I'm like,
maybe some phone service in Denver. What?
And he's going on about how talking about technology and how it was supposed to make the world a better place, but maybe that's not the case anymore. Who knows, right? I guess we know. And then he stares at some sunflowers, right, and some water droplets, and then we cut to title card.
Forlornly.
5 years earlier. So
dumb.
And then we're in this backyard where he is 5 years earlier, right?
Yep.
So we meet Johnny Depp. He's doing some mansplaining about copper and Faraday cages to Rebecca Hall. She's like, yeah, I know what it is. And it's all just stuff from the trailer, right? It's like her getting ready and like whatnot. Yeah.
It's dumb. They're running late for the thing.
Fun. Yeah, because the conference he's speaking at, like, what are you doing? Just set an alarm. Go on time. And he's just talking about how he's making progress on stuff, and they talk about getting funding and blah blah blah. So
it's like, I'm doing proofs because it's fun. She's like, what?
Yeah.
You friggin' nerd.
Hey, so then we get a quick like San Fran transition shot, right? There's a quick shot of someone like in a coffee shop. I don't know.
Well,
I was like, why?
before we cut away from that last scene, this is my first clue that it was not going to be good. Was at the end, he like begs her, let's not ever have to do this fundraising stuff again. She's like, yeah, I'm sure, I promise, never again. And then he goes, haha, you're lying. And it's like just the delivery of the line. Do you remember the delivery of that line?
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
What?
Yeah. They also are not. They are not selling me on that. The fact that they're a couple.
No chemistry.
Zero. Like they couldn't feel like that's just two different people. So yeah. I think that's also a problem because it doesn't have the weight.
Yeah, cool. Because it's basic. Like the premise as we go it becomes like the power of love is like the most important thing in the whole universe, and of course it was him the whole time. Like blah blah blah. Stupid because it does not show through.
So then we're at like some research center, right? And we get this kind of jumps around. So Johnny Depp and stuff from the trailer, him going to this conference and doing a speech in front of auditorium of people, and we cut to Morgan Freeman at this research lab, and he skips out on birthday celebration, having cake. Everyone's eating cake, right?
Well, they zoom in on it. They're like, oh, this tight security that you got to get through. There's a package that goes through the scanner, and like everyone's checking everything out. But they're like kind of leading you to think it's going to be something dangerous, and then they're like, oh, just kidding, it was birthday cake.
Gotcha.
Was it?
Yes. So then he's so then it's just they cut back to the auditorium. He's like signing autographs, obviously, to I guess he's important. People know who he is, and he's chatting up with Rebecca Hall, and Paul Bettany shows up, and then we cut to like a research facility, and we got like this doctor checking into a lab, and he's checking brain scans of a monkey and blah blah blah, right?
Yeah, that's Thomas Casey, I think.
Yes, it is. And we cut back to the auditorium, and we got Paul Bettany. He's doing a little bit of a speech here, and then they did a close up of Elon Musk. Did you catch that?
Oh, I wasn't paying attention to that. No.
Oh my God.
Gross.
Yeah, he was in the audience. I was like, this is so stupid.
I like this movie even less now.
Yeah. And then we're back we're in some office where people are just working on computers. They're just working, I guess. I know what it is. It's one of the AI labs, but the setup here is just very strange, but then they tell you afterwards what all these things are.
Yeah. Sorry, I was gonna go a little bit like there's like motivations that they set up a little bit here because they do. Bettany does an intro about AI when he's doing a speech.
Yes,
not to go back to that, but he's like talking about how like the journey's more important than the destination, and like we can save lives by doing all this stuff, but it's about bettering humanity and not replacing it with computers and that kind of that's like very much the core premise of what he's trying to do here. Yeah. But then then it cuts to the computer lab. Okay.
Yeah, and then we cut back to auditorium, and then Rebecca Hall, she's giving her character Evelyn there. She's giving a speech as well. How
her motivations.
Yep. Better future. Blah blah blah. Stuff from the trailer. There's not too much additional stuff here that's necessary. And then Depp comes on. He gives his speech about the brain.
They beat you over the head with it because they're like, my wife has always been eager to change the world. I'll settle for understanding it first. Cause then they bring that up 5 times later on to to talk about his motivations. It's so frustrating. They're like paint by numbers you.
Yeah, very much so. And we get another shot of Kate Mara. She's in the audience. And then cut back to Freeman. He's just hanging out by himself, and he turns around and everyone's dead.
Basically, yeah. Like the phone's ringing. He's like, why isn't anyone answering that phone?
Got the phone.
Oh,
party's over.
Whoops.
And we cut back to the auditorium.
Yep. Just like the singularity bit from the trailer.
Yep. I like to call it Transcendence. We cut to the doctor. He's doing some researching stuff, and then all shit goes haywire here, right? Kablooey.
Yep.
Computer lab room blows up. We got the doctor who is brain scanning. He's getting choked. We got Freeman's coworkers are all dead from eating some cake.
Yep.
Blah, blah, blah. And then we cut back to the auditorium, and speech is over. He's walking out of the auditorium, and Lucas Haas shows up, and he shoots Depp and then shoots
You're
himself.
all slaves.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
Jesus. So,
all right, Kanye, don't.
Yeah, actually, Lucas Haas did show up in the auditorium, and he asked the question, right? He's like, you want to create a god? And Depp's like, isn't that what man has
always do? Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I mean, a lot of this stuff is just everything from the trailer. Like, there's nothing new really here, other than like, we get a little sense of characters' motivations, but
yeah. And then like Kate Mara just like casually walks away from the scene of the crime here, like exactly in the trailer.
Yes. So then we're in the hospital, and again, this is mostly from the trailer, right?
The news exposition is happening,
filling us in. All these tech labs have been hit all over the country, and then Paul Bettany comes in, and he basically says the same thing that the news just told us.
Yeah, yeah.
He's just like, oh, they're hitting labs all over the country. Like they just.
Well, it does. He does give a little more detail. He's like, "Oh, Thomas Casey's dead, and like everyone that worked with Morgan Freeman's dead." And
yeah,
like he's like specific, like apparently, like because again, going back to my quote, which we haven't gotten to yet, of like, "You're the third smartest person I know." Like there's, according to Johnny Depp's character, at least, there's only 3 or 4 people in the whole world that are working on this stuff, and so they're like. All the people are dead except for Morgan Freeman and him and Max, I guess. So like they did kind of a bad job because most of the people are still alive.
Yeah, not a really good coordinated hit here.
Yeah. And then they also get the update. They're like, oh, don't worry, Will's fine. The bullet only grazed him. And you're like, really?
Did it though. So we're back in the Freeman lab here, right? And the gang's all together.
We got a new friend.
Yeah, Cillian Murphy, he comes in as the FBI agent, right?
Yep.
And then we learn about Rift and
revolutionary independence from technology, not ruffians into fucking technology.
Yes.
Like I thought.
Yes. No, it's not that.
It's not a techno sex movie like I thought it was going to be.
Unfortunately, sorry to disappoint. Yeah, and then again, they just keep talking about how Rift had coordinated an attack again. So it's like you've said this 3 times now. Like, just move on.
And then they give a little bit of backstory on the thing where they're like, wasn't that just like, didn't they make some videos where they put smartphones in blenders? Like, how did they go from that to this? And then Morgan Freeman explains, and he's like, well, that guy like infiltrated me for a whole year. He was working with me, like one of my closest friends over the last year. And, this is a coordinated long-term planning attack. And you're like, oh, okay. And an hour ago, they released their manifesto. Oh, okay. Sick. Great. So much exposition.
Yeah.
AI is a threat to humanity. They're trying to stop Transcendence. You're like, oh my God.
How many times are you going to say the name of the movie in this?
Like 100.
So then go ahead.
I was going to say they're upset because they lost a bunch of research. And like now Will's lab is the only place on Earth apparently that they can make artificial intelligence now for some reason. And then they're like, a little more exposition about the DoD taking over. And then they talk about the PIN project, which we're going to hear way more about in a minute.
Yeah.
And then basically Will's like, do I have a choice to show you this or not? And they're like, yeah, of course you do. Free will.
Yeah. And then we get the FBI and all of them hanging out in the server room, right? State of the art stuff, man.
Yep.
I think someone actually says that. And then we meet PIN, which is physically independent neural network. It's a learning computer. And then basically just we learn about the AI and this thing exists. And this is what they're working on. And it can obviously scrape and pull data and pulls information about Buchanan there immediately.
Yep. And cool. Like this is when they also tell us that Thomas Casey was apparently very close to proving that computers could think independently. And I'm like, well, too bad he's dead. He's the monkey guy.
They killed our monkey guy. And then Will there, he's not feeling too hot. And then, but basically just learning about the AI and how advanced it is. Later that night, we're back at home and Will's just puking. And we go to the hospital. And this is where the doc gives us the bad news, right?
Yep, basically from the trailer again.
All the trailer. He's just laid out. Doc is like, we'll figure this out. No, you won't.
Definitely not. Yeah.
Definitely not.
It's irreversible.
Like my sweater. And then we cut to a lab and there's some analysis going on. And we cut back to the hospital, right? And again, stuff in the trailer. Bullet was laced with some bad stuff. You got a couple weeks to live, kid.
Yep.
So
they give him 4 to 5 weeks apparently, which is apparently enough time to do most of the rest of the movie.
Yeah. Pretty much. And then we're back at home and he's just sick.
The flowers in the garden are dying, just like an allegory for him.
Oh my God, that's right. All these stupid shots that just like, and they try to bring it all back at the end and it's, I hate it. I hate this.
Very heavy-handed.
Yeah. someone doing gardening. Got it. Still at home, and then, like Paul shows up, or Max, not Paul, Max, played by Paul Bettany. He shows up, and they're chatting about work, right?
Yeah, they're like, he's like, I don't understand. Why would they like? They're afraid of computers, but they take lives willingly. What?
Oh my god,
asinine.
It's so ridiculous. And then Max is just like, hey man, why are you getting back to work? Like, don't you want to spend your last month of your life, you spent
your whole life in the lab, why don't you spend this one with your wife? And he's like, great point.
That's why we're friends. And Evelyn's doing the gardening, and then we cut to nighttime backyard, and Depp puts a blanket on her, and she fell asleep outside. I don't know. And it cuts to the morning, and then Depp is packing up stuff. We get a close up of like a cable wire hookup, I guess.
He's like taking all his stuff back to the office because he wants to spend what's left of his life with her. She's like, oh,
like I don't know. Some of this just cuts around. So we cut to a car again. It's stuff from the trailer, right? And Rebecca Hall,
right?
Evelyn, it's all from the trailer.
Yep, Evelyn driving to the lab where she plays with a cable and like sees all the monkey notes. Like she's driving to Thomas Casey's lab.
Yes, yeah.
And so she like steals the notes.
Yep.
And then starts like looking at all the monkey brain stuff, and they're back at home at some point, and because like they show Will being on the cover of Wired for some reason.
Yeah,
like that's like the transition shot. like wait, weren't we just at the lab? Why are we at home? I'm so confused.
Why are we doing this?
I don't know.
And Rebecca Hall's giving Morgan Freeman's character like an update, right? And be like, "Oh, we're shutting it all down." Will's not doing too well. So
exactly. She's like, "Take care of yourself. You need anything? Let me know."
Let me know.
I'd like my husband to not die, please. Except that.
Can't help you there.
Anything else?
Anything else but that. And then we get a shot of like we're at the lab, the research lab, and she's just shutting down Penn, right? And she pulls some server cores or whatever.
Yep.
And then
like steals it. She didn't pull a server. She like, what was they called? They're like the core. The
cores.
Cores. Yeah. Like, what?
The pin cores, like, oh, okay.
Is that how computers work?
Yeah, I mean, technology in the future,
Yes, sir.
And then they're like at I was like, is this like an abandoned school? Like where?
Yeah, I think it was. That's what I thought too.
Why are we, what? And I didn't know what it was about. I was like, well, I don't understand this shot. So then we cut back to them being at home. Again, more stuff from the trailer. It just like cuts to her being like, yeah, we can upload his brain.
Thomas Casey did it. Why can't we? They did a monkey brain. Let's just do Will.
Yeah.
And he's like, Jesus, fuck no. Like, come on.
Again, it's all just the stuff from the trailer too, right?
This could be a nightmare.
She's like, we can save him, blah, blah, blah. And then it cuts to nighttime, and Depp is definitely not looking too good.
No.
And he gives Max a little speech about trying. We're like, okay.
Okay.
All right. And then we cut back to the school, right?
Do we? I thought then we cut back to the garden.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. I kind of skipped through some of that stuff, but yeah.
No, it's okay. It doesn't really matter. That was that bit where they dropped you're the third smartest person I know. Line. But I guess you're right. Then it's back to school for better or worse. They're like setting up a hospital and also like server room.
Yeah. It's like a little mini tech setup montage-y kind of thing going, right?
Yep.
Giving Johnny Depp a haircut. Talking about taking care of Evelyn or Max and Will are talking about monkeys and
right. He's like, good enough for the monkey, good enough for me.
Yeah.
What?
You got some good old fashioned science stuff happening. You got whiteboards with formulas and notes on them, right? All this kind of montage-y stuff of science happening. Things are happening, drinking water, eating shitty food, doing some speech recognition, I guess, or like he's like speaking into. He just like says a bunch of words that start with D. I was like, this is boring.
Yes, it was boring. And then this is when he cautions Evelyn, don't lose yourself to this project. Like, you've got life to live too. Then they do L words.
And it shots of him in bed, and then like, and I also was like really confused about. I don't know if you noticed like the computer monitors in the background just like flickering. I'm like, why are they doing that? Fix that. Like that's not like technology is happening.
I think they were trying to say like the AI is like learning or like making. I don't know. It
was stupid. But and then we get a dead Depp, right? Is he dead? He's gone.
Basically,
right?
It's like finally like the next day, however many weeks later.
And then we cut to this lake house, and they're just dumping his polonium-filled ashes into a lake.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, right.
Yep, that's basically it.
And then
Morgan Freeman writes a letter to her, like sorry for your loss,
and doing in Morgan Freeman's contractually obligated voiceover moment.
Yep, exactly.
He does that in every movie because it's Morgan Freeman's voice.
She was the only thing that ever mattered to him. The spirit of this man will continue to inspire us. Yada yada yada
yada yada. Blah blah blah. Words.
And we cut to like some shack on the side of the road. Yeah. We're like, what? Where are we now?
So this is like the Rift hideout, or one of their spots, right? And they're like, we got word that Pin is shut down, right? And we got a shot of Kate Mara now with blonde hair.
Yeah, they got word that it got shut down, but also a few of the cores are missing.
Yeah. Oh no!
Like this Rift organization is way better at piecing together what's happening than like anyone else that even knows them closely.
Yes. Yeah, but then there's also like annoying things where like they're asking later on, they have Max as a prisoner and they're asking questions and they're like, "Where is she? Where is she?" And then the guy's like, "Oh, I got her GPS." I'm like, "What is going on here?"
They're in the desert. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's just like a lot of weird moments like this where it just cuts to something and it's like it's just there. I don't know. Like there's no.
Yep.
It's just happening. There's no reason for it, or it's just like what is going on here?
Yeah.
So she's like back to the school lab, right?
Back to the school lab with Evelyn and Max, and Evelyn's explaining that she's tried everything: cryptography, coding, all two things. Neither of them worked.
Cryptography. What is that? How's that going to help you? What are you doing?
I don't know. And like the computers are still going nutty in the background, like flickering all over the place. You're like, oh wow, that must mean AI is happening.
I mean, that's what I thought. I was like, oh, AI is clearly happening on that computer.
And she's like, let me say my goodbyes to him. And she's like, I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to listen to you. I'm not going to lose myself. It's really important. And then she's like, you can turn it off now. So Max goes in to turn it off. When he does, there's a quick flash of, is anyone there? I'm like, oh, okay.
The computer screens that were going nutty earlier blank out and we got a little prompt, right?
Well, no, before that, like when he turns it off the first time.
Oh, is there like a
quick flash? Yeah. It's like, oh, is anyone there? And then they hug and then she's like, wait, we need to turn it back on so we can wipe the drives. Like, we just turned it off. So he's like, yeah, I guess fine. So then they turn it back on and then Max is like, wait a second. And then that's when it comes with the prompt. Like, is anyone there? With no stupid 3 like the trailer.
Yeah. Thank God. Like, why would that? Oh my God.
Somebody said that in the edit, apparently. Yeah. Like, don't do that.
Don't do that. That's stupid. Let's move along.
Yeah.
And then there's like, Depp's alive inside the computer. He's in the machine. And then there's like a weird like webcam shot of them. And I'm like, what? Like, it's like you're in depth vision here.
Well, yeah, they plugged in the webcam so that he could see them.
Oh, but I'm talking about the actual shot though, like from I was like, why would we know how cameras work?
No, I want the POV. Always give me the POV.
Oh my God. And then
Max is appalled at what they've done. He's like,
he's like, God, this isn't right, whatever. And then, we get stuff from the trailer again. He just like, I need more power. Yeah, but it's all from the trailer. And he's like, we gotta shut it down. And she's like, it's not it, it's him. He's right here. And then she throws him out. She's like, get out of here. He's like, okay. Yep. See ya.
So there are a couple other things in there that like aren't super important, but like they do give you the questioning of his motivations again. Like Max is trying to reason with her. Like he said he wants power and like needs the financial markets all of a sudden. Like that's not something Will would ever like. He just wants to like, wants to like access Wall Street and the internet. Like that doesn't sound like Will, does it? She's like, no, it's like their memories. It's him. I know it's him.
Oh my God. And then, so after all that happens though, then she's like, Max leaves and she's talking to Depp, and then they cut to digital avatar Depp in there. I'm like, when did that happen? Why is this happening?
It's happening so fast we can't even predict. Computers improving themselves.
Oh my God. And I was like, why is it also of him being all wired up like before he died?
I mean, he fixes it later.
Yeah.
Maybe it had to do a recent one first.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's learning, Russ.
Oh, right. Cut
them some slack.
Should have used an AI to write this script.
Yep.
Then we cut to the bar. I don't know if there's anything else in there. I mean,
no. It's the bar now.
Okay. So we're at the bar, and this is Max just kind of drinking life away and his problems, and Kate Mara's there, and she's like, I don't know, she's saying shit, basically trying to recruit him, right?
Max drinking both a whiskey and a beer. Classic movie.
Hey, sometimes you gotta double up, you know?
Sometimes you gotta.
When you help build a artificial intelligence that's gonna take over the planet, sometimes you gotta
Why
double
not
up.
both? Porque no los dos.
And then Kamara's character, she's like Bree. She's talking to him, and then I didn't really listen to what was going on here. But
She's basically like, I'm a student of yours. Like the way you wrestle with tech power and peril, like it's, you know, like you're so brilliant, and I just want clarity.
Yeah.
Like, don't your colleagues know about the danger? Like, don't they understand? Like you do. You understand all of this. And he's like, not interested. Gotta go.
Gotta go.
She's like, it's really important. And he's like, sorry. And then he leaves. And
sorry.
Then a bunch of guys get him in the parking lot and stuff him into a car.
Get him.
Very funny.
Yeah, get him.
You sick him, girl. No.
Get him. Get him. Let's get him.
You got him, skater.
And then we're in like the Rift hideout, one of the many in a
some
warehouse.
drippy place.
Yeah.
Again, it's again emphasized how much everything drips.
Oh my God, so much dripping.
So much dripping.
So like Rifted, like they're playing off like Rifted are the bad guys in a way, kind of. It feels like.
Well, they're the misunderstood bad guys.
Yeah.
But yes, at this point they are still the villains technically. But you can see, you like it's if you're not a dum-dum, you can very easily see that like, oh, okay, well, I suspect a reverso on the way.
Yeah, not an irreversible.
Right. You're like, maybe Max is actually the only consistent character the whole time who's like the hero.
Yeah.
I guess.
They're interrogating Max here and they're like, where is she? Like asking where Evelyn is. And then the guy like in the corner is just like, oh, I got her. GPS, boom. It's like, what? What is going on here?
Yeah. And then this is where they explain the stakes too, when they're like,
yes. Yeah.
Like, as soon as she connects him to the internet, it's over. It'll be uploaded to every network computer in the world. We'll never eliminate it all.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
All right. And then we learned that she's got the pin cores, blah blah blah. It's just very stupid.
Yeah. Then we cut back to Will and Evelyn, and she sees people trying to break in somehow.
Yeah.
At the school.
This was like another. Yeah. It's like another one where she's like. It just cuts to her mid-action of like knowing that they're coming, and I'm like, "What? How does?"
Yeah, I assume she like saw it on a monitor somewhere or something. But it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't set you up to like why she would know this is happening, whatever. So that doesn't matter really.
Yeah,
but
they need to get him on the internet immediately.
Yes,
and then so this is when Rift comes in and they just like shoot everything with a shotgun. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, they bust in, and then Evelyn takes off, and then there's like in between like her taking off and getting in her car or something like that. There's like there's a graphic of him being uploaded to the internet, traversing the digital world.
Yeah, via her phone also, which is incredible.
Oh my God! And he calls her, and he's like, "I'm online."
Which there was a quick IMDb fast fact for you about that part. When they're like an artificial intelligence, because now it's 2023 and we have some amounts of artificial intelligence that are not obviously anywhere near this scale, but like we're getting there, more or less. And so they're like estimates for a sentient artificial intelligence like that would probably be like exabytes of data. That would take like years or decades to upload over a cellular, over like a satellite internet connection. Like so ridiculous.
Yeah, your T-Mobile connection isn't going to handle this.
Like, and it happens in like a second.
Yeah.
Like, well, okay, that was easy.
But Jared, it's the future. It takes place 7 years in the future from when it came out.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Future.
They're expecting 5G way back then.
And then they get to like an internet cafe, I think, and she's like, "Where are you?" And he's like, "Everywhere." All right. And she opens up a tablet and it's like freaking out, and he's like Johnny Five. I need more input.
Well, and then they show him stealing tons of money because she's like, where can we go? I can't go home. And he's like, I'm taking care of it right now. And it's like going up like hundreds of thousands of dollars by like the second. Like, wait, what?
Do you think anyone's going to notice this?
Yeah. And then stupidly frustrating, she goes to whatever this hotel is that he's booking with all this stolen money.
Oh,
or I guess it's not stolen money, but it's, manipulated money.
Yeah.
And they're like, hotel reservation for touring. I'm so mad.
I heard that and I was like, I want to get up and punch my TV.
Yeah. And then she just like goes to sleep while he computers all night, I guess.
Yep. We got his creepy avatar sitting there just doing some work. Beep boop bop boop beep boop bop. Oh my god! And then we cut to the Rift House. Right, we're back at Max's Faraday cage. He's living in.
Yep.
And we got Kate Mara's character Bree. She's giving a speech,
kicking his cage.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
See, he's like the monkey from the beginning in a cage.
Yeah. She's like, some company just made $38 million. Yeah. Like high volume trading. Like, how did that happen?
Just so happens it's the company that Evelyn owns.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the key thing here is that they have Max because he knows the source code.
So dumb. She's like, you can make it right. You can still make it right somehow. Okay.
And then we cut to the FBI office or something like field office, right? And we got Cillian Murphy here, Agent Buchanan, just basically giving us an update on who Kate Mara's character is in Rift, right? That's
bunch of exposition, yeah.
And then more crazy computer screens and some. I love someone in the background's like, "We've been hacked.
We've been hacked." Morgan Freeman's like, "No, you've been helped, not hacked.
No, you've been not hacked, but helped."
And then it cuts back to Will, and he's like, "I've accessed surveillance cameras all around the country. We need to get off the grid."
Andy didn't realize he'd just been hacked. Oh my god! So then we cut to
well, then we come back to Morgan Freeman, and he's like, "I've never seen anything like this, except for also from Pin, that thing that we were all just talking about." You're like, "Oh, maybe it's that then." And Agent Buchanan's like, "I don't care about all that gobbledygook. I gotta go take these people down." And you're like, "Well, what?"
Basically, Depp is uploading all this information about Rift and where they are and blah 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 in there. So to the FBI.
Yeah.
So
then we get a montage of Evelyn driving in the desert.
Yeah, from the trailer.
Yeah.
Yep. The Rift gang is getting taken down by the FBI, and then that's when we get the we've prepared for this.
Yeah, Bree's like very confident that they can handle whatever comes their way. Apparently.
Yeah,
inexplicably confident.
Yeah, and I think that's probably a good spot to break here, right?
Yeah,
shit's hit the fan, and we're people. We got Depp in the digital verse here, the metaverse. We got Rebecca Hall on the run in the desert. We got Max in a cage. Yep. Will he ever get out of that cage? What happened to that monkey? The monkey die? I forget.
I think the monkey's dead as hell.
The monkey's dead as hell. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Johnny Depp, I feel like, is teasing us for something here that's kind of weird. Where he's like, we got to get off the grid. You're like, you exclusively exist on the grid. You can't do this. But where are they going to go? Yeah, I don't know.
Do you know what the grid is?
No, he does not.
You are the grid.
Going to some secret place, wherever that is.
That's where we're headed. We're going to find out in the next episode. So, So I don't know. Thanks for listening. We'll be back on Thursday with part 2. We'll figure out where we're headed. But in the meantime, you can follow us on Instagram at It's This Meets That. We're ITMT Pod on Twitter. Wherever you're listening, subscribe. And share us with a friend if you think they'd like it.
That sounds nice. And while you're there, you can drop us a review. Speaking of being nice, 5 stars would be nice. Maybe a positive comment, maybe a negative comment, but still 5 stars. We don't really care.
Doesn't matter.
We appreciate you either way. Or if you want to give us long form feedback, you're feeling old fashioned, you can send us a spicy email. It's thismeetsthat@gmail.com. We read every email that comes in. Don't get a lot of them. So you could be one. If you're proud. Or go to the website, find all the information about the podcast, other stuff someday, we promise, all the old episodes, the whole back catalog. You're going to love it. It's thismeetsthat.com.